This has serious implications for the Chicago Bulls ahead of the rivalry play-in matchup against the Miami Heat, and we're going to talk about everything that has to do with that. I am Shaq Barnes here with another great episode of Bulls Digest, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls. Also, I noticed that 67% of you guys have been watching the channel not subscribed yet. So make sure you guys dunk that subscribe button and ding the notification bell to be notified every time we drop videos about the Chicago Bulls. But yes, there's a lot of serious implications going on about the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat ahead of this play-in matchup. Obviously, we got a lot of history with this team here, this Miami Heat. If you notice, back in the days when we had the Kurt Heinrich era, the D-Wade Shaq era, the Bulls beat them out the first round. You go back to the Derrick Rose era when we had plenty playoff battles with this team. So we are very familiar with this Miami Heat team, even back in the days of the 90s with Jordan. But the rivalry still continues because this will be the third consecutive play-in game against the Miami Heat since the play-in has started. So every time the play-in has been here, we played the Miami Heat. And it seems like things won't change anytime soon. Now, with the Miami Heat, the serious implications is this. The Bulls versus the Heat, the last three games we have played this team this year. Yes, we are 3-0 against this team at the moment. We are. But we have seen this before, and the reason why I brought up our past history with this Miami Heat team because it was a year, Derrick Rose MVP year, one of my favorite years as a Chicago Bulls fan, where we swept the Heat during the season. But then we end up losing in the playoffs. And right now, when it comes to the play-in, we are 0-2 against them right now. So we need to change the tide. And we also understand the fact that you could win in a regular season, but you also have to win when the money's on the line, the money's on the table. But the Heat versus the Bulls this season, the Miami Heat lost, but they had a 13-point lead. The second time they lost, they had a 17-point lead. And the last time they just lost recently, they had an 11-point lead. Now, it's two ways you could look to be concerned about this with the Chicago Bulls. And I'm not concerned to an extent because of the Heat dynamic of how their team is set up now and the new Bulls dynamic of how our team is set up now. The styles of play, and which we're going to get into later in this episode. But I just think like if the Bulls play their style of basketball, which is up and down the floor, run down and score, get a lot of shots up, the league don't hurt. But the problem with this could be that it gives serious implications for us is that if the Heat get up and they play their style of basketball, slow the pace down, gritty game, and if we get caught up trying to play their style of basketball, the Bulls will lose, or they won't even have the opportunity to get enough stops or score enough points to win the game. So we don't want to fall into a hole early at all, or we still need to play the course of our game. And when you look at the stats of the team, and when I say the course of the game, obviously you see the scores from when we played the Miami Heat. And the key thing that you notice up top here, look how high scoring each game was. February 4th, it was 133 to 124. That's what we want the game to be at. The March 8th, 114, 109. We want the game to be that high when it comes to points and scoring. Also, we get look at the April 9th game, 119, 111. For the Bulls to win this game, we got to have the game in 110 plus points. If we can't have it stuck in the 90s, low hundreds, midnight. We can't have it there. If we get to that point of scoring, especially in today's era of basketball, especially how we play, we will be in trouble. But if you look at the Chicago Bulls stats, they're 8th in points, they're higher than the Heat. Assists, they're higher than the Heat. Rebounds, they're higher than the Heat. And you're looking at the blocks, they're higher than the Heat. The Bulls are all around better team than this Miami Heat team. But the main thing that the Bulls need to keep, how you see that points per game, 117. We need to stay in that lane. Then we go to the advanced stats, and the advanced stats is what's going to tell the tale of everything that we need to know here. And this is where the Bulls can win. Right here at the bottom, you see that pace. The Bulls are second in pace in the NBA today. You could attest to that with Josh Giddey with his rebound ability to, obviously he's been a point guard, but also be able to rebound to instantly push the break, and the Bulls get up and down the floor better than a lot of teams in the league. But if you notice, Right here to the right of me, you see with the Miami Heat, their pace is 27th at the bottom of the league. They want to play slow. They want the game to be gritty. They don't want a lot of points scored. They don't want to get up and down. They don't have the personnel to keep up with the Bulls to go up and down. So the Chicago Bulls need to keep that in mind while they are attacking the Miami Heat. But then we also got to talk about the last 12 games. And the last 12 games, even the Miami Heat has definitely improved on too, because this is not the same Miami Heat team that the Bulls played earlier in the year, even though we got the win. They have improved on their offensive rating. Their defensive rating has improved also. The net rating has improved. So those little things that you have to see, even their three-point percentage has improved. So the only way that the Bulls can avoid these serious problems when it comes to Miami Heat is to play their style of basketball, and that's up and down the floor. The Heat has got better at this point in time in their last 12 games, and they will be prepared to come to Chicago and try to get a win. So the Bulls need to be prepared just more than anybody else in the league. Now, we got to do the injury report. Injury report is the most important thing we have to see on this list. Ayo Dosunmu is obviously out for the season. Lonzo Ball will be most likely out at least for this play-in game. Now, if we get further in the playoffs in the future, maybe we might get Lonzo Ball back. Also, Trey Jones is out day-to-day. And we got to definitely circle my boy Josh Giddey, because they say he's day-to-day with a wrist. It was like a wrist forearm injury. But from what I'm hearing, what you're going to talk about, that Josh Giddey should still be available for this game. For the Miami Heat, Drew Smith obviously out for the season. Pelle Larson day-to-day with an ankle. Isaiah Stevenson's day-to-day. Alec Burks day-to-day. Nikola Vucevic day-to-day. Kevin Love day-to-day. And Andrew Wiggins is day-to-day. With all these guys, it's probably day-to-day, and knowing with the play-in, majority of these guys probably a play. We probably definitely see a Wiggins, a Nikola, and probably an Alex Burks for sure. When we go to Josh Giddey, though, and Josh Giddey is the main implicator that I want to really get into. The Bulls are optimistic with Josh wish energy to be okay in the play-in. He's going to play. Josh Giddey is going to be available. He's going to play. But will we still be able to have Josh Giddey play at his full potential, at his full power of what the Chicago Bulls need from him to be successful? Because we need Josh Giddey. But Billy Donovan had a lot to say about Josh Giddey and his injury. Speaking with reporters before Chicago Bulls 122-102 victory Sunday, Coach Billy Donovan said there are high-level optimism that Josh Giddey will play Wednesday in a home play-in. Josh Giddey has to play. If Josh Giddey don't play, this will be one of the toughest games for the Chicago Bulls this season to even win at this point in time. And we need Josh Giddey to win, because also, I have my SB's key player of the game, who needs to be the player of the game, is Josh Giddey. Obviously, Josh Giddey this season is giving you 14 points, 8 rebounds, pretty much 8 assists, we can say 7, a steal, shooting 46% for the field, 37% from 3. Josh Giddey will have to be the key guy to win this game for the Chicago Bulls. And this is another reason why, because when it comes to Josh Giddey against the Miami Heat, he's looked like Nikola Jokic. And I'm not just saying that just to be saying that. Or we say a prime Russell Westbrook, I should say. Because Josh Giddey against the Miami Heat is giving you a triple-double. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in a 3 games against Miami Heat. Josh Giddey goes off every time he sees Miami. And when it comes to our keys to the game of what the Chicago Bulls need to do to win, first of all, one, we already do SB keys to the game. One, Josh Giddey has to go off. Josh Giddey has to go off. I'm expecting probably a triple-double. I don't know if you guys, any better people who watch this chat, put the triple-double in. Or at least Josh Giddey 28-8 guaranteed this game. So if you guys betters, lock it in. But number 2 key of the game, push the pace. Play the Bulls style of basketball. Run them boys out the gym. We have to run them out the gym for the Bulls to win. And the best way to do it is get transition points, fast baskets all the time. Number 3, win the rebound battle. With Josh Giddey being one of our top rebounders, and you obviously see that he's averaging a triple-double against this Miami Heat team, Josh Giddey getting a rebound, pushing a break, making a pass down court to a Herter, to a Kobe White, to a Buzelis to get an easy bucket will lead the Bulls to victory. So let me know comment down below to let me know what you think, what you got for the score to play in. Are these serious implications against the Miami Heat a concern for us? Because we have been down against them every game we played. We end up pulling out the W at the end of the game, but we have been down. Let me know. Comment down below. This has been another great episode of Bulls Digest, the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls. I'm Shaq Barnes, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.